Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Depends on when you're watching us. Coach Greg here with Living IMpowered. I'm so excited today. We have an amazing show for you. Again, a two-part show. First part is with my friend, coach, amazing person, Holly Rigsby. Part two, stay tuned after our interview. We're going back to the kitchen. We're doing more cooking with the coach. I got some good stuff for you today. A lot of people are writing in, making comments about the recipes. They're quick, they're easy, lots of variety. Most of them are healthy. We teach you how to make them healthy if they're not. So a lot of fun there. So we're going to start today. We're going to kick it off with Holly. Today's all about how to feel put together, in control, and making your life victorious and getting things done. Holly is an amazing person, an incredible coach. She's been doing this for a lot of years, working with the moms, the busy ladies. You've helped who knows how many thousands of people, ladies, get it together. So at that, there's my little intro. With that, welcome Holly to the show. Thank you so much for being here. Honored to have you.
Greg, I'm excited to be here today and be able to share some of my knowledge helping moms take better care of themselves.
Awesome. That's kind of where you and I are connected there. You are a mom, however, so you get it. I get that question. Hey, but you're a guy. But I've had a mom. I've worked with ladies for years. I have a life. I see it. I feel it. But you are one, which makes you even more in the mix. And then we kind of collide there because mine's about caring for the caretakers. So there's where we connect with that. So let's kind of jump right in. I know you see a lot of ladies, maybe let's just use the word distress. I see a lot of people just distressed, panic. I don't have time. That's my favorite thing. I don't have time. We both know, because I've been on calls with you about time management. Let's start with that right there. How do they feel that they don't have time? How do we help them get that time back?
Oh, there's so many reasons. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 3 reasons why moms struggle with a lack of time and give you some very easy takeaways that you can put right into action. But I'll tell you, I hear this all the time. And actually, I started off in the fitness industry back in 2005, helping moms save time with 15-minute workouts. So ever since then, I've been looking at how can we maximize our time to get the results that we want without being so consuming and overwhelming. And over the course of coaching moms, and I've done all of this online, I just want to make this very clear that this is not another talk about time management and productivity. And we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have different lives, and we all have different demands competing for our time and attention. But this is not about finding more time. This is about taking better care of our time. And I will tell you that I get it, because my husband is also a coach and also former baseball coach. And as a coach, if you're on time, you're late. So I've been hearing it in my ear the entire time being a business owner, get better at managing your time, but nothing clicked. And I think the reason why, just to make this very clear, I was the queen of chaos. I actually have the tattoo to prove it. That's the symbol for chaos, because I thought that's just the way that my life was to be lived. I was the victim of disappearing time. I remember day after day sitting down to work, and all of a sudden it was 5 o'clock and the day was gone. And I was like, I've been busy all day long and I have nothing to show for it. And I even so I'm always rushing, always running late. I was always this spaz that, oh, will Holly even show up? And when I had a baby, I was like, thank God, now I have an excuse. I can be late. I have a baby.
Yep, that's a perfect excuse.
And I even acquired the name Ladybug, not the cute bug, red bug with black spots, Late-bug. And it was given to me by my son, Tyler, my older son. But one day he became incredibly frustrated with me. And I'm sharing this because this was my turning point. He became incredibly frustrated with me because it was probably another day I was late picking him up from school or practice or something. And he asked me a question that turned everything around for me. And he was like, Mom, when you're getting ready to leave, do you think of being early or think of being on time? And I was a little frustrated by the question because I'm like, well, on time, of course, because if I'm early, what would I do? I'd just be sitting there idle when there's things I could be doing up to last minute. But it made me go, wow, how is my child perceiving me as somebody who's always late?
Yeah.
This is what stood out to me. Time is a choice we give to what's important. My child is not feeling important. And it stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, I have got to figure this out. And in my quest, and I think this was back in 2015, because I had been coaching moms online, and we transitioned from, yes, workouts are great and they help us to get better body results, but we want better life results. So I started dabbling in how can we make our days better by improving our morning routines? And it was magical, the magic of a morning routine.
Yes.
But moms were like, I've got my mornings down. What do I do with the rest of my day? I'm like, don't ask me. And I'm still rushing and running late.
I haven't figured that out yet. One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. Yes, perfect example.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, so with this question of Tyler asking me, and knowing that I could be a better coach, if I can figure this out, I can help my moms figure this out. So that's what triggered my quest to figure out time management. And when I dive into something and research it and study it, like I go all in, and the majority of things that I found were very corporate based, and sorry, they were written by males who had no concept or consideration of what all the plates that moms are spinning and the different things that we have tugging at us. So I took the main concepts and I was like, I can create this because I've always been. So I took strength training and I was like, how can I simplify this to fit into a busy mom's schedule? If I can figure that out with workouts and fitness, how can I figure this out with time management? So it forced me to figure out a system that I could teach my mom. So I had like this inner circle group. I'm like, I'm going to test this on you. And if it works, we've got this, and we'll share it with the rest of our members. So I created something called the Design Your Day method. And one day Patrick overheard me coaching my moms, and he was like, hey, fitness business owners could actually really use this too. And all of a sudden I found myself showing up every Tuesday to teach planning and time management and productivity to fitness business owners. I was onto something.
Yes, indeed you are. I've been on that call. It's amazing. I'm a student of what you do. So yeah, I can tell all of our viewers and listeners, this is magical. The most amazing thing, I'm sorry to interject, I'm excited, but when you sit down and you take the few minutes to do what you're going to share, all of a sudden you're like, wow, there's a block of time for something else and a block here. And you're like, huh. And you've gotten so many things. Hopefully we talk about the victorious things, but there's so many more things that you can do, not just things to do. Because I had another business coach, he's like, shut it off. Don't find busy work. Do the things that are priority. But when you follow your steps, it's amazing what transpires from that. It's incredible.
So I'm all about simplify, which I learned from the grandmaster of simplification, my husband, Pat Rigsby. So,
that's for sure.
So before I get into the 3 reasons why moms struggle, I just want to make it very clear about the fact that planning is a skill that can be learned and practiced. I did not buy this. There's nothing magical about a planner, and there's nothing that happens overnight. It takes practice, just like anything else in our lives that we want to get better at. Mm-hmm. So to highlight the points of why planning your day matters, everybody here wants more time. So a plan helps you to reduce wasted time. That absolutely automatically, instantly translates into more time.
Yes.
Having a daily plan helps you make better decisions. How many people suffer from decision fatigue, or they can't make decisions because there's too many things going on? A daily plan helps you to make better decisions. A daily plan also helps you feel a sense of accomplishment. And as moms who are busy doing things all day long, we desire that sense of accomplishment. This allows you to track and see that you're doing the things that matter most, and you feel satisfied that your time was well spent. So let's dive into, and you interject as you wish.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
If I start going over time, because I don't want to go over time, but I just want to be able to cover it just enough for it to hit you just right, to make you go, okay, you're right. Now what am I going to do about it? Because go ahead.
I just want to comment. You said something just a minute ago that was perfect. It's a skill that takes practice. Because having been, on your calls, I'm in the group with Pat, but still sometimes I forget to do it. My wife asked me last night. I'm working on the deck right now. She's like, well, do you have time tomorrow? Ding. I know where my clients are. I know we're doing this, but I didn't finish the piece that was important, which was creating the block for that. So I had to sit down, all of a sudden, magic. I have plenty of time to get that done. It took me from overwhelm, scrambling is 8 o'clock. I'm like, I need to keep working. She reminded me, what are you going to get done now at 8? Nothing. So put it in tomorrow's plan, make it important. So to your point just a minute ago is it does take practice. And if you miss a day, it's okay. You know, you get this practice, go again the next time and the next time. You'll get to that, but it's a practice. It's a practiced art for sure.
And I'm so glad you brought that up too, because wow, we're hard on ourselves.
Yes.
Nowhere is any coach telling you to do things perfectly 100%. No. And if they are, run in the opposite direction, because that's not a good coach.
Because you know they aren't either.
Single, solid, good coach is telling you that this is about imperfect practice, and it's about in the messy parts, because you either win or you learn. There is no failure. You get feedback. And that's the beauty of planning. One day we'll write a book called the Life-Changing Magic of Planning Your Day. That's not trademarked. I've hosted challenges for my moms and fitness business owners, and it does life-changing things regardless of who you are and what you do.
For sure.
The magic is that it's one day.
Yeah.
One day at a time. So it's not, I've lost weeks, I've lost months, I've lost years. No, it's one day. You learn from it and you're like, oh, and what you just described too is really important in the practice of it is, you know how good it feels when you have it in place, and the pain of not having it in place reinforces you to make sure you've got it in place.
Oh, for sure.
The positive reinforcement from saying no.
Yeah. The spectrum of the feeling, the feeling spectrum is huge on that. Like I went from overwhelm to like, I got it. I'm going to nail this tomorrow. I'm probably going to finish it tomorrow. At least from, oh my gosh, to, I got it in that small amount of time just by writing it down. It's an amazing feeling.
So much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So 3 reasons why moms struggle with a lack of time. Reason number 1, you are clueless about clutter. With clutter.
That happens around
because
here.
time is what we want most, but what we are using worst.
Yes.
So how bad is it? It is time to examine the clutter in your life. And I want you to think of clutter as anything in excess that interrupts or distracts. Words distracts, not disrupt. Interrupt or distracts you from the things that are important in your life and you from living your life. So they're the interruptions and distractions that are in excess. Clutter is going to show up in 4 different areas of your life. There's physical, lifestyle, mental, and digital. Physical is the obvious. We've got piles of stuff all over the place.
Right.
It's the obvious stuff that is getting in your way. Lifestyle has to do with the routines and habits that are working against you.
Yes.
So we all know, things are not good or bad, but when it comes to bad habits, you understand what I'm saying. A bad habit is simply something that is wasting your time and draining your energy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm speaking on that tomorrow. That slides in my deck. It's where's that going? What kind of habit is that? Yeah, one or the other, right.
And there's 2 great books about habit change. James Clear, Atomic Habits. And if you want to get into the nitty gritty details, BJ Fogg, Tiny Habits. He has habit recipes. There's resources out there to make habit change. And of course, you've got coaches
right
that are reinforcing it day in and day out. And they're not just reinforcing it, they're living it. And they're showing you real life examples of how you install habits. Mental, these are all the thoughts, ideas, the never-ending to-dos, the worries, the fears, the overthinking, and it's all kept up here.
Yes.
Mental clutter, when you keep it up here. And then digital is the biggest time waster of all, and that's screen time. And yes, digital can show up in different ways, but the number 1 time waster is screen time. And here's the deal. In order to take back your time, in order to take better care of your time, you must begin by clearing the clutter. This kind of parallels anything that's Marie Kondo. You can't organize your home without clearing the clutter first. Otherwise, you're just organizing clutter.
Yes.
Same thing when it comes to your life. So I'm going to give you some tips. I'm not going to go into physical clutter because once again, there's great systems out there, but here's an easy one to begin. Pick one space. It could be a drawer. I'm pulling up my desk drawer right here. One space.
Yeah.
You pick that space, purge it, and then decide what belongs there, and then organize it from there. Because the key to clutter is that everything belongs in one place. So figure out what that is. And some things don't belong in your house anymore. They belong in somebody else's or the trash.
Yeah. How many of us have a kitchen drawer that used to be a couple of things?
Right.
It's now like, wait, what's the manual for that doing here? I have batteries and plugs and chargers and pins and like, what is this? And like, where did that? I've been looking for that for months. How did it get over here? I have a battery drawer that's full of everything but batteries. Like, what? How did that happen? Yeah, it's just throwing things. But you're so right. Just take it all out and move it. Yeah,
that's right. Just clear it, because then you save time, because then you're not wasting time trying to find something that you don't know where it is.
Exactly. Yes, I know.
And then keeping the house organized, it just goes back to where it belongs.
Yes, little effort to make that work, but yes, otherwise you end up right back where you started.
Practice.
Yes.
Practice.
Yes. That's a
lifestyle. Keep this really simple with habits. What do you need to stop doing?
Yes, for sure.
What do you need to start doing? Keep it tiny.
Yes.
And practice from there.
And so many of us go for the big thing first. I mean, how many times have we done that? And then when you don't achieve the big thing first, now you're just discouraged and down in what happened now. Yeah, you exactly little step. So Pat say 1% better every day. That's the 1%, then the big thing, or you get the momentum, then the big thing. You're prepared for the big thing. That's like opening a business without having any business knowledge. None. I'll just start. Well, how do you start without the system, without the little things? But same principle applies. That's exactly right. Yeah. Don't start with the big thing. No. I see people do. It's like dieting and exercising. It's like, okay, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to start training 5 times a week. No, I just people, how many times should I do it? 5? Should I change? No, I always tell them no. They look at me like, what? I'm like, no, a little. Get used to it. Then you'll get there. But same principle for everything else totally applies. Agree.
Less is more. Less is doable. Less is where you practice consistency. Because how many people who here has trouble sticking to something because you're making it too big and complicated?
Oh,
we can stick to the tiny things consistently, because what I teach my moms is that's a belief builder, because a lot of people are stuck up here with negative mindset, limiting beliefs.
Yep.
Well, then you earn that by proving to yourself and demonstrating that I can do this well consistently with the tiny things, because then that establishes the foundation. Then I can build upon that.
Right. Absolutely.
Small.
Foundation. Perfect. Yep.
Foundation.
Keyword.
Then digital.
Oh, geez. Let's talk about that.
This is where you got to get honest. And guess what? This is not about guessing or assuming, because your phone has a record of how much time you're spending on it. Oh. I am not familiar with Android, but I know that Apple, you can go into settings and screen time, and it will break it down for you. Each app, how many hours, I'm going to use the word hours, how many hours a day and how many hours a week are you spending on those apps? It is astounding. It is painful, but you cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. I think it was Dr. Phil. Yep. So get honest about it. And then from there, what can you delete? Because you don't need to have all those apps. If you're like, but I need. What was that? That was a weird glitch. But I need.
You're back.
But I need Pinterest for recipes. Then save it as a bookmark on your desktop, and you have a designated time, and you set a timer, and you go into Pinterest and you look only for 15 minutes for recipes. Whatever social media you have, but I got to know what so-and-so's doing. No, you don't. True friends. You pick up and you have a real conversation.
Yep. That's
scroll to see and be in the know.
Yep.
No. And then you end up falling into a comparison trap, and it fuels negative thinking and limiting beliefs, yada, yada. Delete the apps. Free up your time. There are apps that need to be disabled. You don't need a notification you don't need to hear a ding or whatever every single time something gets updated. You set aside designated time to go check if it's been updated. And then there are things where you're like, well, I do need this, but I could hide it so it's not so easy for me to it's not on my main screen. It makes it, I'm just autopilot getting on there and scrolling. It creates space call it the edge of awareness. That's why we put our alarm clock across the room, people, not next to our bed so we can hit snooze 20 times. It's across the room so that you can come to your senses and be like, oh yeah, I'm turning off my alarm. No different when you hide an app and it makes you go, wait, why am I going to this app? Is this the best use of my time?
Mm-hmm.
My coach were to see me going onto this app, would he be like, way to go? Or would he be like, what are you doing with your time?
Yes. What are you doing there now? What aren't you doing? I like when you have the conversation with somebody and they're arguing that they're not on their phone while they're looking at their phone. I'm like, you're kidding right now, right? It's in your hand. But I was just closing out. You weren't just closing out. You're still looking at it. Put it down. Put it down. I'm a teenager. I get it. I'm like, put it down. I'm physically taking it from you. Oh, okay. He's like, right, I'm coming. You're right. The people should watch their screen time. It sucks so much. I always say if I didn't have the business things, I wouldn't be on the social media because I don't watch what other people do. I don't really care. Like you said, it's all just, it's just entertainment stuff. But yeah, if I want to talk to my friends, I know where to find them. I will call them. I will text them. That's it. I don't need to. If you're doing something really cool, you're going to call and tell me how cool it was, or you send me a picture or something to that effect. That's good. My wife yelled at me not very long ago. She's like, I've been sending you these. I've been tagging you on the post. Did you see them? I'm thinking, I haven't even logged on in days. I have a social media person that I know handles this stuff. And she's like, well, I'm going to stop sending you stuff. Okay. Because I'm here. I'm part of it. I kind of see it. I'm living it. It's okay with me. I'm all right with that. I experienced the family instead of seeing it there. But it's such an addiction, especially with these poor kids coming up. They walk across the streets around here with I'm like, you're in the middle of the street doing this. Adults even. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna walk right in front of a car. Good grief. Sorry to go on the tangent, but
that's a good point.
It's such an epidemic. It's really ridiculous.
So if you are frustrated with the amount of time your child or teenager is on screens, they're watching how long you're on screens too. So lead from the front.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Set some parameters.
Yes, leading from the front. Great place to be. Yeah, they're going to watch. They're going to say, especially when they get to teenagers, well, you're doing it. You're going to hear it, right? Well, you're doing it. Why can't I? Well, because I'm your parent. But you're right. It's still, like you said, when your son asks you that question, on time or early, it's the same thing. They're looking, they're paying attention. So,
yes, very much so.
For sure.
Especially, and just to kind of that in there a little bit more, if you are spending time with people that you say are important to you, but you're staring at your screen, you're demonstrating that they're not important to you. Just saying.
I went to a lunch with a guy that when he was talking, he was looking at me and talking. And then when he stopped and I would just reply, he's instantly not there. So I sat back, I stopped talking. I'm like, oh, wait. I'm just like, you're not, I don't want to waste, like you said, I don't want to waste my time, my energy. You're not interested. Let's get the check. We're out of here. It's the one-way thing, but that's a lost art in it. So that's a whole other conversation is the quality, the time spent face-to-face with somebody. I mean, what a key important thing that is a message to send to somebody. And we train, how many trainers have you seen in the gym? Like they're taking their own pictures and like, are you with your person? Yeah. Or are you kind of checking your, where are you at? Oh, that's what I say. People say, are you a trainer? I say, no, I'm a coach. Coaches are motivation, education, accountability, and love. A trainer's here's a workout.
Yeah.
Let me take my own picture. Big difference. Big difference. As a coach, I'm going to take your picture, not mine, yours.
Yes.
Or us together because we're together, but not anything but that. Yeah. but yeah, that's a big difference of quality time. Sorry, tangent, but
it's good.
It's such an important thing. It's the quality time, FaceTime. Okay. Continue.
All right. So you will have so much more in your life by having less to distract you from what matters most, just to tie that first one up.
Yeah, for sure.
Struggle of lack of time number 2 is because you have no priorities. And I will say that for a long, long time, I didn't understand what priorities were. I didn't know how to determine what was important in my life. And I was just going through the motions, winging it. And I came to define what priorities mean in order to be a better coach and for it to land in a way that makes sense. So to not talk over people's head, right? Because within business sense and corporate sense, priorities of the business growth and this, but what about what comes to life? I mean, it's kind of grand.
Yeah.
Look at priorities as what's important now in this season of your life. And I'm going to show you a system I use that's going to help to bring it together even more.
I like this.
So our priorities are tied to our goals. Like, what is it that we're working on? Where do you want to go in your life? And I get it that speaking from a mom's point of view, playing the role of mom, and when kids get older, sometimes we're like, well, my role has changed and I'm not sure what my priorities are because my kids depend upon me less. Mm-hmm. It's okay to explore that because there's other things that you can kind of dabble in to still say, this is what's important. And when I say season of your life, season of life could be because of the seasons. It could be due to life changes, certain events that are happening, or you can create your own seasons. A tactic that we use for a business coach or in business coaching is to create 6-week cycles because it helps to give you a focus. Mm-hmm. Because I think what happens is we get stuck in grand and too big. And so overwhelm means that something is too much or too big. We can get overwhelmed in goals and priorities because it's too big. When we narrow it down to season, it helps to bring things into focus. Mm-hmm. So when priorities are tied to our goals, I want you to think about them as a GPS. When we know where we want to go, we plug that destination into our Google Maps in our car, whatever Waze. And then our priorities are the detailed action steps we need to take to get to that destination. And sometimes highlighting, maybe you want to take this route, it's faster, or avoid these obstacles.
Right.
But it's important to know where you want to go. And then priorities are the action steps to take you there. Priorities are the things that add value to your life. They help to guide your decisions. They help to give you focus and to remind you to use your time wisely. And they are not fixed. They are dynamic. In fact, so let's just take the summer season, for example. You could start out summer by saying, these are my priorities. This is my goal this summer. And these are my priorities. And things could change. And that's okay because it's your life and you get to decide. You get to edit, to pivot, to adjust as you go. I think that, and like I alluded to just at the beginning of this, we get stuck in not knowing what to select because it's too big or we have too many things that we're making important all at once. But if you could just take a step back and say, but just for this season, I'm going to make a list of all the things that are important now, the things that I want to work on, want to focus on. And then I can look at how to put that into an order so I can stay organized because everything is not important all at once.
Right.
Moms and parents, we think everything is important all at once. It's not. No. We're just trying to please too many people, and that's not the way to live your life. It's okay to say no.
Yeah, that is sure way to burn out.
It's okay to say no.
Everybody. Yes, for sure. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it is okay to say no.
So I'm pulling this up because this is my system that I use. And you would probably be familiar with this with the 6-week planning cycle. But what I do each season for my moms is we create a treasure map. And map is my action plan. And treasure means that it holds something of value. So I look at this as snapshots of our seasons. This is summer. So an example of how to narrow down your focus to help make a better decision about what truly is important. What do I want to focus on? What do I want to work on? We have to designate the length of the season. So summer, when does summer begin? When does summer end? How many days are in there? And then we have to go in there and fill in our existing obligations. There are things we've already said yes to, travel coming up, events, holidays, all that stuff. So when I take my moms through this planning system, they start off with being like, I have all the time this summer to work on all the things. But then we go through this step by step. And as they begin to fill things in, they realize, oh no, I don't have all the time, which is a good thing because it brings awareness to the fact that we got to keep things in perspective. Summer is one of the most fleeting seasons that we can go through. And if you don't have a plan in place, it will go by even faster and you'll be left with regret of all the things you didn't do.
Yep.
Having a plan like this, when you go in seasons, means that you are protecting what matters most during the season, make sure it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Because without this, we will be reacting to everybody else's priorities. The things that are coming at you right now have to do with what's important with everybody else. This is you prioritizing and protecting what matters most to you. And then it helps you to make those decisions about, well, during summer, does it make sense? Is this realistic? Based on all the things I have going on, does it make sense for me to completely clean out the attic and completely clean out the basement and go on a road trip to do this and do this? Or should I just pick one of those and break it down week by week to see what that looks like? And then every week review. Am I making the progress I thought I would? What do I need to edit or adjust?
And that's the key piece of that is go back and review.
Correct.
If you don't go back and look, then you think you're kind of down the map. Well, I think I'm doing all right, but you never really checked. You could have missed a whole lot of stuff. Are you on track? Not on track? That's what we do in the business group, right? Review. Where are you at? Where are you at? Every week, actually. Where are you at?
And it's practice. Yeah. It's a habit. This is a fantastic habit. The habit of reflection. Do it daily. Do it weekly. And then things don't slip. And you're not like, oh my gosh, I've run out of time. You catch it.
Yes.
And you adjust accordingly.
Yes.
Because this is vibrant and flexible and alive. This is not cement.
Yes.
Where I wrote this out in cement and it cannot be changed. And if I don't do it right, then I just may as well break it and I failed. No. You know how many calendars I print out? No, that one didn't work. Cross it out. Now it's ugly. I'm going to print out another calendar. I just print these out for free online. And then it's on a dry erase board because then I can put updates on here. This hangs in the kitchen so everybody can see it.
Nice.
That is the other part about having a plan. It gives you structure, and then it allows communication for people to have the opportunity to be on the same page and in the know. Yes. So I think that's another challenge that moms run into, is that everybody seems to have their own plan or ask for things last minute when you work together, and the key word is communicate.
Yes.
It's not just communicate once, it's communicate daily.
Right. Yes.
And then plans can be crafted and organized and shared together, because the big thing I tell my moms is that this is about making memories.
Right.
And we should be looking at this at every season of our life is about making memories. Memory making is not reserved for summer. It is every single day of the year you have an opportunity to make memories, but are you protecting your time to be able to do so?
Right. Right. And you know what? At the end of your life, what are you going to think? You're going to think of, what did I do? What are my memories? What happened? You know, what's the significance that I put into play? Yeah, that's the important stuff. And every time you find yourself sitting around, even summer, whatever time it is, just thinking, remember that time when it's all, like you said, yeah, it could be a day, it could be anything. It happens around here a lot. Remember when, it's the memory stuff.
When we reach the end of our life, and you can probably find a lot of the thoughts of the dying. If you just do a Google search, thoughts of the dying. Oh. There's some really impactful things that you will read, and not one of them are thinking of all the things that they didn't get done on their to-do list. Stop, because that's my third one. You struggle with a lack of time because you're living off a list. That is not living.
No.
A to-do list is the worst way to think that you are organizing and managing your time. It is not. With a list, there is no way to protect your time. There's no way to estimate how much time is needed. There's no way to determine progress or the meaning of the time that goes into that thing. To-do lists are dreadful because you check a couple things off and 10 more things get put on, so they're never ending.
Never ending.
And to-do lists keep you focused on all the things that don't get done. That's significant because remember I told you one of the big reasons why we plan is because it sets you up to feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
Because in a daily plan, you have protected, and I'll share my planning shortcut if we have time, right?
We're good. We're still good.
Close.
Yeah.
When you have a daily plan, you are looking back to say, did I do what I said I would do? Because this was important. Did I do it? Yes. And if I didn't, why not? What did I choose to do instead? And I just put a little note off to the side. And if things go haywire, what I like to say is my daily planner is my compass. So if things start going off the rails, I come back to my planner and say, well, that didn't go as planned. What's the next best decision to either wrap up the day or be done enough? And then I can say whatever didn't get taken care of, it's okay because I can flip a page or two and I can replace that somewhere else if it truly does matter.
Yep. So instead of the list thing, so you need to know what you need to do. Things there's the need to do things and the want to do things and what have
I have a to-do list, but I have a way to manage it.
Okay, let's kind of roll right into there because everyone's like, well, what do I do if I don't have a list? So I'm kind of leading you.
Oh, you have one.
So you got the list.
Plan has my running to-do list over here to the side, but it's my top 10. I limit it to 10. And those 10 things that are over here are related to that day or what's coming up. Got it. Yep. Now, the way that I get here is that I have a designated notebook, and it's a mind spill. So sometimes I'll do this daily if I have a lot of things going on, but at the very least, I'm doing it weekly. And I tend to do it on a Friday or Saturday, looking at the week ahead. And with my treasure map, that's the other thing. With my treasure map, I can say, well, this is what's coming up. What are all the things that I think need to get done? Could do, should do's, would do's, all that jazz. Remember, clutter is what we keep in our head. What's the solution? You journal, you get it out. Did I even say that? Solutions? I think I skipped that part.
Starting to, yes. Yeah, you got to get it out of your head because there's only so much space. You're going to forget stuff.
Oh, no. So this is the thing about your mind. Yes. Your mind is for coming up with ideas, not holding them.
Right.
Stop treating your head like a personal assistant. That's not how it works.
It is not
Stop
a file.
Thinking and assuming you'll just remember. No, you won't.
Nope. I hear that all the time. Oh, I forgot. Did you put it on a planner? Did you put it somewhere? No, I kind of put it. Yeah, exactly. Well, I put it on this list, and where's the list? I forgot to look at that. I'm like, there's a broken system right there.
Here's something that will make this stand out. If it is important, it has an appointment.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's where, with my planning shortcut, I don't say blocks. I call them containers of time. So what is the container of time? And everybody loves the Container Store, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So containers, because me, because I'm big with words, block and dump. Yep. That's why I don't say brain dump. That's why I don't say block. They sound big and bulky and heavy and ugh. Yeah. I like mind spill because stuff piled inside, let it out, let it go.
Yes.
And I like container because you know how many containers I have from
I imagine you have a few. Yep.
Container, it holds something of value and it has a lid because you can only fit so much in there. So it's helping you say what truly can fit into this container of time. And then it ends up in your daily planner and it has a designated start and stop time. Because we as human beings are horrible at estimating how long things take. This is how you get better at it.
Every time I think I'm good at it, I'm not. I'm like, something's ding. I set my alarm because if you look at my phone, you're like, why is there 10 alarms in your phone? Well, some of them are sleeping, waking, clients, whatever, but it's part of that too, this is my, like you said, my container, and my container ends at 10. It goes off, and if I need to hustle, but make the adjustment. But it's in there, so I don't sit, and then all of a sudden, shoot, I just went through that container and the next one, and I still didn't finish what I was working on. So, or then you end up in that same mind space of, oh my gosh, now I'm way off track.
So we have to get good with done enough, and part of the planning process is I'm going to give myself 45 minutes to do this thing. But what's done enough if it's not done to completion, and be okay with it?
Yes.
It's one day. Because what's overwhelmed? Too big, too much. Yep. Stop trying to do the too big and too much in a day. Break it up. And when you have a planning system, so I mind spill, I'm like, what's coming up? I write down all the possible things that I've got to get done, could do, should do's, wish list. And then when I go to plan my day, I start by, so here's the planning shortcuts. So very simply, and ideally your planner in the view. Your planner is 1 day, 1 page at a time, because yes, and I use the Passion Planner. This is a great planner, but you cannot be focused on 1 day at a time.
Yep.
And it's impossible for you to truly detail out your day. This is very distracting. I use this as a dashboard, no different than the dashboard on our car. We kind of see what's coming up, kind of monitor things, be aware, but the details go into the day, and you don't need a fancy planner. You can just use a notebook. This is not about like, gotta research and find the best planner. That's procrastination. Just get into action and you'll figure it out. So planning shortcut.
Which one is that?
It's no longer available, so I don't want to use it.
Because I have that one. I was just going to let you say what it was.
So one day when I write the life-changing magic of planning your day, it will have a companion daily planner.
Okay, very good. Very good. I have that one. So. Glad I still have it.
So planning shortcut.
Okay.
You fill in your top 3 commitments, and your top 3 commitments are: number 1, the bookends of your day. What time do you wake up? What time do you go to bed? Because of the only hours you have during the day. Sometimes the majority of us are overly ambitious of how much we can squeeze into a day. When you automatically are like, oh, I only have this many hours and I have 10 times the amount of things I'm going to do. This will automatically help me pare that down.
Yeah.
Commitment number 2, what have you already said yes to? These are existing prior commitments. So if you have appointments, those go in there. Commitment number 3 is somewhere down here, 5 minutes to plan for tomorrow, because the key to planning is to do it the day before. And I promise you, it alleviates so much mental load and stress and overwhelm. Totally. Even if all you do each day is what I'm telling you right now, and just is the planning shortcut. Because then once you have this filled in, you will clearly see how much time remains. So what's important? What are your priorities? Where are they getting appointments? Are you breaking them down for enough? What are the related to-dos, no more than 10, that have to do with today's events or what's coming up because you're being proactive? And even if you put 10, you're not going to get through all of them. There's going to be carryover. But then it's an opportunity to be like, okay, that didn't get taken care of. Why? And then you learn. You either win or you learn. It all goes back to win the day. You either win or you learn. And you win when you stay focused on what's important now. That's how you win.
Boom. What is important now? Boom, drop it right there. That is amazing information, Holly. I had the benefit of knowing what was coming. So hopefully everybody else benefited that as well, because we've shared this before. I do love that planner and the concept. I would just reiterate what you're saying, just having been a student of yours, is to say, when I do practice that on a regular basis, everything feels better when you start the day. Talk about starting your day with overwhelm versus preparedness. The feeling that you could wake up with dread or anxiety, not even realizing what it's from. It could just be from that. But if you follow those steps and you're prepared and you're ready, like my wife was asked last night, I'm moving things around the house, I'm setting up lights, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm preparing for tomorrow morning, so I don't have to get up, scramble through clients, and then scramble again. So I actually created a little container of additional time. Good. Just by preparing last night. I wasn't doing busy work, I was preparing. And that served me for this morning to eliminate any of that anxiety for, all the things that I knew were coming up. So straight to your point is it's just an amazing feeling that creates. So we're going to wrap up in a minute or so. If you have just like a couple top 2s, ladies, take this away. What do you share with them? You gave so much information. It was so valuable. For sure.
I just want to say, I kind of took what you just said. We all, we know this from our children. Our children thrive when they have structure. We're the same structure that serves you. I like how you use the word serves you. Absolutely. I had final words on to do a takeaway, but time, until you can manage your time, you can manage nothing else in your life. So if you're tired of feeling stressed and overwhelmed and constantly rushing and running late, this is a sign to take a step back and take better care of your time. Time is life. You do not get it back. It is a non-renewable resource that we need to start taking a better look at. So that's why I look at this as your relationship with time. And you value your time based on how you use it.
Yes.
When you plan better, live better. And your concept right in the intro was take better care of you. So that begins by taking better care of your time. So going back to the 3 reasons why moms struggle, they're clueless about clutter. That's a fantastic place to begin.
Yep.
And I highly recommend starting off with the screen time. Then look at what is important in this season. Give yourself structure, shrink the window, even if it's just for the next 2 weeks, because after that it's uncertain. Give yourself a focused window in order to make a decision about what's most important. Then calendar it out, because then from there, that allows you to begin to practice the daily planning shortcut. And that's the structure that you can give yourself every day. And it just takes 5 minutes.
That's the thing.
And the rest of the day as you go. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But when you have structure, remember, it's helping you to make better decisions and waste less time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you don't think you have 5 minutes, do this, and then you're going to have more than 5 minutes.
You will be
That's
amazed.
the funny. It's a cycle. It's an amazing cycle. That is such great information. And again, Holly, thank you so much. I appreciate you, your wisdom, your knowledge, sharing with our audience, and sharing us your time. Like you said, I know how valuable your time is. So again, I thank you so much for being here, and all that you do for not just the ladies, but us business professionals as well. You and Pat, you guys are amazing people. So thank you for that as well. So thank you for being here. Everybody else, stay tuned. We're going to the kitchen. It's cooking time. I'm going to prepare something. I have just a nice, quick, easy, healthy snack. And I always tell people, Holly's like, if you're going to parties and things and you control what you eat, you take your own stuff. Prepare your food, take your food, you know what you're taking, and hey, look what I brought you, which is really what you brought me. But that's how you do it. That's what we're doing today. We have another quick, easy one for you and your family. So hang on with us. We will be right back. Holly, thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. And if you guys need any questions, we'll have Holly's contact information for you as well to reach out to her. So hang on. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to Cooking with Coach. Hey, today we're making a really good, fresh, pizza-ish snack appetizer. This is something great you can take to a party. You can serve for yourself, just keeping things on the healthier side. This is something we've had a couple of times. We've made a few times. Very, very popular. Even the kids will eat this because, yes, it's vegetables, but it's not overpowering with the veggie taste. You get more of the other taste, and this is really good. So let's get started with this thing. We're going to start with zucchini. So good size zucchini. Try to find the little bit rounder ones. We're going to chop this thing about 1/4 inch slices. We're going to lay these out on a cookie sheet when we ultimately cook these. So thinner is probably a little better unless you like the vegetables a little crunchy, a little more al dente, which is what I like them. I don't care for them when they're all mushy. I went on a business trip to here's a story. I went on a business trip to the South and they had wilted green beans and wilty vegetables. And I just kind of looked at them. And one of the guys like, "What's wrong, California boy? What's wrong with your vegetables?" I'm like, "You killed them." He's like, "What did you cook these in?" He said, "Oh, we cook them in lard." I'm like, "Oh, at that point, it's no longer a vegetable, really. It's kind of like a blooming onion." Okay. I know we like those, but an onion in its own is healthy. An onion, when you've decorated it with breaded sauce, you've deep fried it, now you're dipping it in something else, it's no longer a vegetable and it's no longer healthy. Tasty, sure, but not healthy. So don't disillusion yourself by it's still healthy, it's still good, because really, no, it isn't. Okay, moving on. I'm going to set my knife aside because my knife is sharp. Okay, here we go. We're going to, actually, I'm going to take a cookie sheet because we're going to build these right on the cookie sheet just in case Coach makes a mess, which I typically do. So I'm not going to make a ton of these at this moment. But again, this is something you can take to a party. You're going to hear me say this probably quite frequently with the things that we're making, is control your own destiny when you're eating. When you're going out someplace, you're going to somebody else's house, you're going to barbecue. It depends on when you're watching this episode. Right now for us, Southern California, sun's coming out, there's grilling. People say, hey, come over, bring something with you. Okay, so bring your own stuff, something that you want to eat that's still reasonably healthy but tastes good. Should always taste good. If it doesn't taste good, don't eat it. Make something else. All about that. So here's what we're going to do. Again, with these, you can make these a variety of different ways. We're starting with just the base of the zucchini. 1 second. I'm going to go check on something in the oven here. Hang on 1 second with me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. First round. Looking good. Hold on. I'm still with you. Hang on. Oh, yeah. I'm going to show you these beauties in just a second. We have already started this. I'm going to set them there. I'm going to come back to those. Okay. Here we go. Back to the show. All right, we're going to go with a little bit of sauce. Again, just a little bit is going to work for us, a little spoonful. You can go sauce. If you're not a sauce person, skip the sauce. Put the sauce on the bottom because we're going to cover it up with some other stuff. All right, here we go. A little bit, again, barely, just enough for flavor is what we're going for on here because zucchini itself, pretty bland, but it gives us the opportunity to dress it how we like. So we're going to a little sauce there, a little sauce there. Everybody's got some sauce. We're all happy. All right, here we go. I'm going to go. You can go with a flat piece of cheese just to cover the whole thing if you like. You can put just a pile of sprinkled cheese. This is kind of fun because when you bake them, the cheese around the outside gets crunchy and crispy because that gets baked. We're gonna put these in a broiler, so that's going to get broiled. Makes a crispy cheese, and who doesn't like the crispy cheese on the outside, right? I love that part. Whenever we're making something, I always over cheese on purpose just so that happens. And my son has adopted that as well now too. It's like, oh, just enough on the outside to make it tasty. All right, so at this moment, we're just sauced in cheese. Now, again, you can add onions to this. You can add a little onion. You can add a little olive. We're going to decorate us in just a second here. I'll put just a little spinach on just for some fun. Just a little spinach leaf on a couple of these. Now, keep in mind that spinach is going to cook, so don't freak out on it. Now, you can go, if you want to make these like true pepperoni-ish, you can go with a little piece of pepperoni. Try to get something lean. You can put a little chicken on it if you just like meat on them. I'm going to put I'm going to put salami on just a couple of these just for fun. Here we go. And then I'm going to put, I got some olives here, so I'm going to decorate. A couple of these I'm just going to keep nice and simple. Simple is good because on these two, because we got the sauce, the cheese, the olive. Let me show you something else we're going to sneak on here. Kind of like if you saw our Pizza Bombs episode, you see there's a lot of good things we can add to these. So we're going to add, I like a little bit of sun-dried tomato. I'm not a big regular tomato fan just because I've just never really cared for them. But the sun-dried tomatoes got a little different flavor, a little taste of it, a little texture. So I'm going to put one of those on there right next to our little olive friend. So everyone's got friends on the top. I'm going to keep a couple plain. There we go. There we go. Sun-dried. So we got sun-dried olive cheese sauce, 2 just cheeses and sauces, 2 with the salami and the salami, the spinach, and a little bit of sauce. I'm going to take a little bit extra cheese. I'm going to drop it on the top of my salami here. I'm just going to decorate everybody with a little bit of extra because that never hurts. Again, you can make these any way you like with whatever you want on them. If you like a slice of mushroom, again, the grocery store makes a lot of stuff pre-made for you, so this doesn't take very long. You saw how quickly it just chop the, you can make that noise too, the zucchini, and it's done. Lay it out flat. Cheese comes out of the package. Lay that out. Sauce out flat. Olives out flat. Now we'll take this sheet. We're going to go drop it. It's broiling, so it does not take long to cook these. Let's go drop it in the broiler. I'm going to step away for a second. You stay right there. I'm heading to the broiler with those. And I'm magically heading back with some that are finished. Now here's what I was talking about with the cheese. We've got the crispy cheese around the outside. We've got, here's a nice one right here. So Here's now my zucchini. It is cooked all the way through, but it's still very al dente, which means it's got a little bit of crunch to it still, which is what I like. And you know I got to taste all my food. Oh, see, that's really good. A little bit of crunch still in the zucchini. Tiny bit of flavor, tiny bit of sauce flavor. A little bit of salami on this one. All these are good. So again, it just takes a couple minutes and these are done. And you can make a whole tray of these at one time. Take them with you. Make them for the family. Oh, the salami got me. So again, very simple. And again, you can make them any way you want to make them. You can make them all vegetarian. You can add a little bit of meat. And you can make them really cute and with a good presentation, a little olive on top, a little sprig of something on top, a little piece of parsley or anything else like that that's green that looks really cute. So it's a good presentable item as well. And the kids will eat these because it tastes like more or less pizza. So there you go. So that's a quick one for you today. In about less than 10 minutes, we can have this thing made. So that is super fast, super easy ingredients, super inexpensive, and really tasty, which is what we're going for, right? It's all the magic 3 right there. So again, thank you for watching so much. Keep the comments coming. We're going to make breakfast for you pretty soon. Like I said that in the last one, it's coming. It's coming. I'm getting the request for a coach. I need something for breakfast, like egg bites or something. I don't want to go to Starbucks anymore. So stay tuned for that episode. That is coming up next. And until then, thank you guys so much for being here. It wouldn't be without you. Until next time, keep living empowered.